A former co-host of The View, Rosie O'Donnell, has a long-standing feud with Donald Trump that dates back years before he became president. And now that he's back in power, she just made a drastic move. Watch.
I'm here in Ireland. Although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country.
Rosie O'Donnell, former host of The View, comedian, actress, decides that she's had enough with the United States. She's done with Donald Trump. She's done with all these policies, in hopes that she'll move to a country that doesn't have the same issues as the United States, which is Ireland. So the ladies of The View, they're defending their girls. So let's see what they got to say about Rosie O'Donnell. But I will say this. Rosie O'Donnell is in a situation where she has the resources where she can just get up and move out of the country. Most people can't do that. I just think it's interesting that she got her fame and her fortune right here in the United States from American citizens. And you're about to see she's moving to a country that has its own political problems, its own problems with government, as you will see here momentarily. But let's take a look at the ladies of The View.
So, former co-host of The View, Rosie O'Donnell, has a long-standing feud with Donald Trump that dates back years before he became president. And now that he's back in power, she just made a drastic move. Watch.
I'm here in Ireland. Although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old. And I'm trying to find a home here in this beautiful country. And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back.
And earlier this week, the Irish Prime Minister was asked about this in a loaded question from the conservative media correspondent who happens to be dating Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, yeah. Take a look.
Ireland is known for very happy, fun-loving people, great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
That's true. Thank you. I like that question. Do you know you have Rosie O'Donnell? Do you know who she is? Do you know who she is?
Yeah. I'm joking.
You better off not knowing.
Oh, no, he's going to be mad at Ireland now. Here comes the potato tariff. Why can't Trump let this go? This has been years now. He's still got it, as the Italians go, over here for.
Well, Rosie O'Donnell can't let it go. Listen, this type of stuff triggers you guys. I think that's why Donald Trump has so much fun with it. I think he is a master of what he does. The man has put together a strategy. From what I see, just has legacy media in shambles. Anything that he does, you guys are going to focus on. And while you're focusing on this stuff that he throws out there to bait you, I think he's trolling you. You bite, man. You bite every time. And I think it's entertaining. It's entertaining to me. And he's able to go ahead and get some real world policies done and get a lot of things done for the country. I don't think that President Trump really is worried about Rosie O'Donnell. I really don't think he thinks about her like that. I think it's a situation where, they went back and forth. To me, it's funny. It is what it is, man. But of course, it's their girls, so they're going to make a big deal out of it. So let's take a look. Let's take a look what more they have to say.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Can you remind us what it is that she said about him or did to him? Because it's almost like like, he's a toddler. His frontal lobe is not really fully developed, in my opinion. And so he probably suffers from that imposter syndrome. And maybe she did something that
first of all,
called
if
him
you
out
watch-
on it.
Well, if you watch the clip, she basically flipped her hair, which
Okay.
he didn't care. I used to play with
This was
around with
what year? This was way before he was president.
Oh my God, let's see.
2006, I'm
So I
being
was like
told in my ear.
25. Let's see. No.
So she made a hair drill?
She flipped the hair. He didn't really care about that. It was the money, in my opinion.
Oh.
She was saying how many times he was bankrupted and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
And
he's
that
not a
made-
real billionaire.
Well, that's...
Or he wasn't.
She,
Although now
knew-
he
wasn't.
She
Yeah.
called him
Crypto
out on
scheme.
it, and he freaked out. And he was so vicious to her on every station. People would take his phone calls in every station, MSNBC, CNN, everywhere he went, even here.
Well, so she
Yeah.
spoke truth.
And he
She
took
saw
that
through
dig at
him.
her in that presidential debate that Megyn Kelly moderated. He
Yeah, yeah.
insulted her during
Yeah, he
it.
can't get over
Well,
it.
I was actually, so I was
that's
at
what it
that Republican debate. It was the first debate of the 2016 primary. It was in Cleveland, at the place where the Cleveland Cavaliers play.
Good job.
And
Wow.
Megyn Kelly asks the question, you call women fat slobs. I don't know if we
yeah.
have the clip. And he says, yes, but that's just Rosie O'Donnell. And I remember so vividly because the entire place erupted in laughter. It was full of people. And my phone, I had it on my lap on silent. My phone vibrated and I looked down and it was Rosie. And she was texting me and she said, I am watching this debate with my kids so they learn about American government. How do I explain this to them?
Wow.
And so, look, if
And
you
what'd you
live-
say to her?
the hell am I going to say to her at that point? It's like, I'm sorry. I was mortified that had happened. I said,
I don't know if I believe that story, but even if it did happen, okay, so I'm sure Rosie O'Donnell's kids, I'm not sure the ages of the time or whatever, but I don't know, man. When at what point were you even interested in watching presidential debate? I don't know. I don't know how old her kids were, but I can say this, man. Kids are vicious. I'm sure they knew their mom was famous. I'm sure they knew at the time that the president of the United States and Rosie O'Donnell was going back and forth. And I don't know. I don't know if I believe that story, man. I don't know if I totally believe that story. Like, what was the age? You had your kid in with you watching the presidential debate. How old were they? I don't know, man. It kind of seems far-fetched, but anyway.
I'm sorry. I don't have an explanation for how you explain it to your kids, but I do know that if you're Rosie O'Donnell, who he hates, and in fairness, she hates him. It's mutual.
Oh, yeah.
And you are listening to him threaten Liz Cheney, and you're looking at him go after law firms, and you are listening to him saying he's coming back to be the retribution, and you know how ruthless and how vicious he is, and that he personally hates you, and you have a 12-year-old with special needs, and you want to bring her up in a place of love and peace, and you have the resources and ability, then you make the hard decision of leaving. Good for her. It's good that she's fought her entire life. She's putting herself first.
Well,
I'm
and
very
it's
supportive.
a good teaching moment for a parent at that time because Donald Trump can best be described as a textbook, like, bullies for dummies. This is who he is.
Yeah.
Way back in 1983, when Back to the Future came out, the character Biff was based on Donald Trump. That's been confirmed. So you're looking that he was already a bully.
That tracks really well.
And you can see it now. Watching.
I think it's interesting with The View. You have these ladies of The View that are very opinionated. Okay, so when they talk about people that are bullies, the media bullies all the time. They bully people all the time. The media lies and they'll say things, and they'll bully people all the time. Maybe it doesn't seem like it's bullying because it's coming from these ladies here, but they push agendas. They in their own way. They bully. In their own way, they shape narratives and agendas. They lie. So I don't know. I don't know about this. Is it that Donald Trump was bullying Rosie O'Donnell, or is Rosie O'Donnell a former member of The View and you guys are sticking up for her? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think it's entertainment. That's the way I see it. And I think that Rosie O'Donnell found an opportunity to, I don't know, maybe reinsert herself into the conversation. I haven't heard about Rosie O'Donnell in a long time, and now all of a sudden she's, video, she's got a video out saying that she's moved to Ireland, and of course she's moving to Ireland because of her disdain for this country, or at the very least her disdain for the politics of President Donald Trump. But once again, I think it's interesting, and you'll see here momentarily, every country has its problems. Every country has its problems, and Ireland is no exception.
Back. So it is a textbook example of explaining to your children there are going to be people that the only way they can be on top is to beat other people down. And those kids are going to run into that. Kids run into it every day. You just usually leave it behind on playgrounds across this country.
In middle school.
And now
school.
we're seeing it elevated to certain levels. But I do think it's important to teach your kids about that, because they're absolutely going to run into people just like Donald Trump.
So Alyssa, here you are going to hear her speak in defense of the United States, because I think she's very honest in her take on all this. And if you have traveled abroad, you'll know every country has its problems. So it's not just exclusive to the United States. United States is the big dog, It just is. On the world stage, the United States is a big dog. Everybody likes to take shots at the United States as if this country is so bad to live in. Well, you obviously haven't traveled to different countries throughout the world. Every country has its problems. It all depends on what you will and will not tolerate. It is really an individual's decision, If you don't know, I implore you, travel. And take a look at different countries, different governments, different customs, and those types of country, man. You'll see, man. It's an interesting world out there, man. And if you think that problems is exclusive to the United States, you are wrong.
Well, I do think it's important just to remember that America is bigger than the president. And I want to acknowledge that especially the LGBTQ community may feel uncomfortable in certain states right now. I just talked to Kara Swisher on our podcast yesterday about this. And I get if you have the means and you want to make that decision. But I'd also remind folks, I think Americans love to think we're so far behind and Europe is so progressive and ahead of us. It's just not really the case. We remain the most ethnically diverse, one of the most ethnically diverse nations on earth. We're the one where you're most likely to be able to come in from one socioeconomic class and in your lifetime be in a completely different one. This table doesn't exist in a lot of Europe. On LGBTQ rights issues, we're about as advanced as most of Europe. I know there are some places.
Racist too, though.
Well, we have way more diversity, though, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But when you're a completely homogeneous nation like Denmark, they don't deal with racism.
Yeah, but you know what? That's why people are upset, because we like this country. We want it to stay the way it's been.
But that's my point, though. This country is bigger than who's president for 4 years. I just think it's important people remember. There are places I wouldn't be able to get IVF treatments in Europe. Like, we put a lot, and love my European friends, but we put everyone else on kind of this pedestal and act like America is so backward and broken. It's not.
Does that?
Well, I think this is still the greatest nation on earth.
It's a pretty young democracy that doesn't seem to be working right now. And so I do think
I believe more in America than Donald Trump's ability to
It
ruin
doesn't seem to
Yeah.
be working for everyone. And I think that's Rosie O'Donnell's prerogative, and that's her point. It doesn't work for her family, and she is one of the few people that can pick her life up and move it somewhere. Most of us are stuck here.
I would absolutely believe that this country isn't imperfect and progress is slow, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere.
So,
Yeah. If you want to go live abroad, by all means, go travel. Go take a look at different countries. Maybe this country ain't for you, but you're going to find out that every country has its problems. I love the United States, yeah, but it does have its problems. We, as the citizens, we need to correct the problems. It starts with each individual. Each individual, man. There's something about each and every one of us that we can go ahead and fix, man. And that's where it starts, man. So once again, travel a little bit. Check out the different countries, man. But we'll get back to Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell has moved to Ireland, and I think that's interesting. But take a look at the former UFC champ, Conor McGregor. he is from Ireland. He has some things to say about what's currently going on, the political climate there, some of the things that he does not agree with, and he is with the people. And it'd be interesting if Conor McGregor ever ran for office, man. I mean, with his star power, I mean, of course, he's a big MMA star all around the world, big UFC star all around the world. I'm a MMA fan, so I'm very familiar with Conor McGregor. So let's take a look, man. Conor McGregor at the White House.
There's no hotels in. They're all taken over. They're all being trafficking rooms. So, yeah. Americans to here. Yeah. Americans to here. Hey, Conor.
Oh. Hey.
Hey, hey, Conor, first of all, did you get into time with President Trump? And also, I know there's some Irish immigrants in the U.S. without status. What do you think should happen to them?
The Irish
There's some Irish immigrants, some recent Irish immigrants without legal status.
Are we taking questions?
Taking over the podium.
Ireland and America, we are siblings. We consider America our big sibling. So it's important for Ireland to have be a peaceful, happy, prosperous country for the 40 million Irish Americans to have a place to visit, to come back to their home. So we wish for our relationship with the United States to continue, and we wish to be taken care of by the big bro. You know, the United States should look after its little bro, and that's how we feel.
How about the trade? What about, there's some trade disputes between the U.S. and the EU, and how do you think?
We wish exemption.
Hey, we actually have some stuff that we have to do right now.
I will say, Conor is here to meet with the president. He'll be meeting with him later this afternoon. We couldn't think of a better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day. We're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but very festive. And as you know, I'll be having a briefing later at 1 o'clock, so we'll talk more about their meeting later. But he's going over to meet with some other administration officials. He's spending the day in Washington, D.C.
For sure.
So
I'm here to
it'll be
raise
fun.
the issues the people of Ireland face.
Yes.
You know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
I think it's interesting. The things that Conor McGregor is talking about are the same things that are going on in the United States. I've seen some posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he's talking about some monies that's being paid to other countries that are paid by the citizens of Ireland. And he has some questions, just like the American citizens have some questions. So it's interesting that they are going through similar things that the United States is going through, but yet you have someone like Rosie O'Donnell that says, hey, I want to go live in Ireland because I don't like what's going on in my country, the United States of America. But you see, Ireland is dealing with the same things. So maybe Ireland needs to, maybe we can, contract out Elon Musk when he's done here with Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, to go ahead and find out what the hell type of corruption is going on in Ireland. So corruption and crime and government abuse of taxpayers' money is not exclusive to the United States. It's just not. So I just find it interesting that someone like Rosie O'Donnell has for many years has had things to say about Donald Trump and his administration in the United States, and now you find herself in Ireland, and it's just interesting that Conor McGregor, who is probably, I don't know, maybe the biggest star out of Ireland that I can think of right now. I'm just talking about on the world stage. Everybody knows who Conor is. Has problems with his own country. So, I mean, he would know, right? Obviously, he's from Ireland, and so he would know, and he has some things to talk about with the American people and the American media and President Donald John Trump. So let's go ahead and leave you with this.
One of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account.
Donald John Trump, man. Yeah, this is what they were referring to earlier, the ladies of the View. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.